Hello and welcome. Called the greatest tennis player of all time, Martina Navratilova holds more Grand Slam titles than any male or female player. Navratilova started playing tennis at the age of 8 and joined the Pro Tour at 16. She went on to dominate women's tennis for decades, racking up a record 9 Wimbledon singles championships and 167 singles titles, again more than any other player. Today at 51, she's taking on new challenges but still staying in remarkable shape, as proved by her 105-mile-an-hour serve. She's sharing her secrets in a new book called Shape Yourself, saying that even those age 50 and over can be fit. Tennis legend Martina Navratilova joins us today. Don't forget, we take your questions and comments on this program. The numbers are there on your screen. Great to have you here.
Thank you, Reese. It was funny watching myself from 1976, 1975.
But your serve is still 105 miles an hour.
Actually, I hit 109. But I took a picture of myself sitting next to the radar screen showing 108. I was aiming for 110, but never quite got to that.
There's still time, judging by what you're saying in your book. Now, actually, a lot of people write their books. I mean, a lot of athletes write their books on fitness at the prime of their sort of athletic careers. You know, they're talking about now when they're in their sort of physical prime. You've chosen the sort of you can still be fit at the age of 50 and above angle. Why that approach?
Well, because I was still playing tennis at the age of 50, which most people don't do. And I was asked so many times by so many people, how do you do it? How can you still be so fit? How can you run so fast? How can you hit the ball so hard? And I give so many different answers. I realized I knew a lot more about the subject than I thought, and I thought I should really put it in a book and share what I know so that more people can use that knowledge.
Now, you say that people ask you for that secrets, and you write that the number of factors contribute to your secret for staying so youthful and fit. And healthy diet, exercise, paying attention to those little aches and pains and taking care of them, something I don't do, and genetics. Now, genetics apart, how easy is it for the average person to take into account those factors? I mean, eating healthy food instead of just grabbing something. And we were talking just before the show about like eating at a train station, and you had to do when you're traveling, just not having time to exercise, not having a chance to take care of those aches and pains.
Well, it's
in the real world.
Well, most people don't travel the way I do, so most people at least are at home, but they have a job. So it is still tricky, but it's easier when you are in one place to sort of organize your life a little better. And then really it's about making the right choices for your lifestyle. And even if you have never been athletic and don't have time to be athletic or pick up a new sport or go to the gym, you can walk around the block for 15-20 minutes. And even that will get you give you more energy, make you feel better, put you in a better mood. I get really crabby when I don't do some activity for like 3 or 4 days in a row. I get really lethargic, I get slow, and as you know, when you get older, it's hard to get that back, get the groove back. So I try to do something most every day, and it's easy to do enough. If walking is all you can do, that's enough to make you feel better and make a difference in your
getting
in
a
your
routine,
health.
really, isn't it? As well?
It is, yeah.
Now, interestingly enough, genetics you mentioned as one of the factors, and you were saying how your genetics were great for your tennis because you were tall enough to be able to do the volleys and the serve and everything else, but still not too tall to be affected by joint injuries and so on. How when it comes to staying fit and long-term fitness, how important do you think genetics are?
Well, I think for me it was more that I was lined up correctly. That everything was sort of the right size and the right angle, so nothing was sticking out. Because for somebody like Jennifer Capriati, she was just slightly pigeon-toed, and she had foot problems when she was 15 years old already. And so I was lucky that everything was lined up right, but I also took care of my body. So, genetics is one part, but really is taking care of your body and mostly what you put in it. Because we are asking so much of our bodies to perform these Herculean tasks, but we're not giving it the proper nutrition that the body needs so they can perform such tasks.
Well, you actually, early on in your career, you overcame the critics who saw you as heavy and,
I was. You saw that picture in '75. I was chubby.
And so, I mean, what were the tough things you faced at that early stage to get into the shape, which has obviously kept you to where you are now?
Well, coming to the States was difficult because the diet is completely different here, and it was too much of a good thing. So I think that's the biggest problem for Americans. It's not necessarily they're really eating bad foods, although a lot of them are, but it's the size control, the portion control. Just the other day I was at a restaurant and we ordered main course, and I shared it with a full-grown man, about your size. And you know what? We were full after sharing a fish dish. And it was plenty, and that's what I tell people. You can either divide it up between two people or take the other half home, because the portions are just too much. So there is such a thing as too much of a good thing.
Now, you say, though, in your book that you were a total jock, as you put it. You're always running around doing sports and staying fit as a child. How when it comes to laying foundations for long-term fitness, to stay fit as an adult, It's crucial to have that early foundation of childhood activity.
Well, it helps a lot, and you see nowadays again the kids growing up here, they sit behind the computer too much.
Right.
The kids in Europe are more active because they have to walk to the train or walk to the bus station. They don't have the cars, they don't get driven everywhere. So just the lifestyle itself lends itself to better physical fitness. But with the computer age today, it's going to be difficult to keep the kids fit. And once you get obese, it's much more difficult to not get obese when you get older. And I really fault the parents. The parents need to really take more charge. But the worst thing is when you see a really overweight family and the kids are overweight as well. I'm like, the parents, that almost should be child abuse. I mean,
right.
Okay, for you to be 300 pounds or 400 pounds, but your child at 14 shouldn't be 250. And so the schools need to take charge as well, and the government needs to get more involved. I think, wouldn't it be interesting if our healthcare we would pay the doctors when we are well,
right.
and they would take care of us for free when we are not. Right. How different would the government be giving the guidelines, and how different would they be feeding the kids in school if that was the case?
And it's a problem in this country too, because they keep redefining what obese is and resetting the standards for what people are. I'm going to get a call from Paris. Anwar is on the line. Anwar, thanks for joining us. What would you like to ask?
Thank you, Riz. Hi, Martina. I'm your fan, so congratulations on your success. I would like to ask you that you have, as far as I know, that you have accomplished everything in your tennis career. Mm-hmm. So my question is, do you have any regret that you couldn't accomplish during your tennis career? If any regrets, please tell us.
Right. Any regrets? You know, I don't have any regrets in my tennis career. Of course, there's a few matches that I would like to play again, but overall, I can't complain. The only regret I have in my life, really, is the fact that I had to leave Czechoslovakia, now the Czech Republic, so that I could pursue my professional career as a tennis player, because I knew I couldn't be the kind of tennis player I wanted to be if I stayed behind, because I may never get out of the country again. So that's the only regret I have, but there's nothing I could do. I'm just sort of
you're going for dual citizenship. Obviously, times have changed since you left.
Oh my goodness, they changed so much that we have more of a democracy in the Czech Republic than we have here. Gay rights are further ahead in the Czech Republic than they are here. So it's kind of ironic that this very new country, since 1989, 18 years later, they are further ahead than we are here. We would think we would be a little. We would be pulling everybody else along, but right now we're lagging.
Now, I should congratulate you also on becoming the health and fitness ambassador for the American Association of Retired People, the AARP, and actually you're in DC representing them and coming to talk with them about that. When it comes to, I mean, it's a major responsibility, obviously, as you're promoting health in older people, and the older population is growing with medicine the way it is. What area will you focus on?
Well, really prevention. That's what I've always been about as an athlete. I try to keep myself in good shape so I can compete. And AARP really believes in helping their members be more active and healthy. But most of all, they really believe in prevention of those problems later on. So that's where really we're matching up. We're a good team, and we're going to we're going on a website, the AARP fitness.com. I'm sorry, I've done so many interviews today.
Yeah, I understand.
.com, and where we'll be sharing online tips and exercise videos, etc. I'll be going to events and speaking to the members. So I'm looking forward to that experience.
And they're interested. You came from the book Shape Yourself, where you basically, a lot of the exercises I think are those kinds that could actually be done for
anybody, anywhere, anytime. That was the whole idea with the book. I designed the exercises so you can do it at home with minimum like $30 or $40 worth of equipment. You can do these exercises whether you've ever done anything in your life, or even if you are an advanced athlete, you will still benefit from this stuff. Most of all, I think people feel shame when they really are out of shape. They don't even want to go join a health club because they're too embarrassed about how they look. They can't keep up with the neighbor. So this is a way of really doing stuff at home and feel safe about it and get results immediately.
Well, let's get a call in. We've got Gordon on the line from Scotland. Gordon, what would you like to add?
Hello, I'd like to ask Martina. Just a quick tennis question. Backhand volleys. You or Billie Jean King?
Oh, me. Billie Jean will tell you that. She had a great one, mind you, but I think mine was better. You know why it was better? Because I'm stronger. So even if we do the same thing the same way, I am just a little bit taller and a little bit stronger, so I can hit it harder, which gives me also a few more options. But you know, if you have to have one of us backhand volley, either one will do just fine.
Now, we had a health-related tennis question actually that came by email from Christy in Massachusetts here in the USA. And Christy's asking a little bit of advice. Says tennis is a high-impact sport which can be hard on the feet and knees. Are there exercises you recommend to minimize that impact over time?
Well, first off, I would play on clay as much as possible rather than hard courts. I would make sure that my shoes were really, really cushiony and really good quality, and orthotics. That's huge. That's your base for everything. And good socks. I've always worn Thurlow socks, which I think for 30 years I wore the same sock because it gives you the extra cushion. So make sure that that is all set up, and play as much as you can on softer surfaces. As far as exercises, absolutely, you can do some dynamic weight lifts. You know, like a not a I don't know what you call it, like a
like a
press. You know,
yeah, that's right, yeah.
I'm drawing a blank on the name of it, but one-legged squats. You do the leg extension, but only the last 20 degrees, so that you get the quad really strong. And with the fitness ball, you can do one-legged squats or two-legged squats to build up the quads and the hamstrings.
And you show in the book, I know, a lot of pictures of the diagrams with the ball and some basic stuff as well. A question that we got in, again, another tennis question, inevitably, you know, we had quite a few. This one came from Jeffrey in Virginia in the USA. And Jeffrey says, Jeffrey here is asking, what changes have you observed in women's tennis since you retired from singles play? And I guess how much has the game changed so much since you first started playing?
Well, that's been a huge change because we play with wooden rackets, mostly on natural surfaces, which was clay and grass, or even indoor carpet. Now it's on hard courts mostly, playing with metal rackets with synthetic nylon. So there's that organic feel is not there anymore, which is also I think another reason why we have so many more injuries these days. But the technique has changed so much, the way the shot is hit, and that's dictated by the rackets. And it's kind of a shame because the game has evolved, but has it evolved for the better? And that's just power really rules. Somebody like Hingis or McEnroe, if they're playing now, would they be able to get to #1? I don't think so. And that's a shame because we've lost that variety, that artistry. You have to have that much more power to be able to compete. And that's why I think it's all that much more amazing that you have somebody like Justine Henin, who's by far the shortest player in the top 10, #1 in the world.
Interestingly enough, we had, you know, when you mentioned talking about changing environment, Wimbledon is still something of an obsession, certainly for Brits as well. And this question that came in from John in Kent, the Garden of England in the UK, sent in by email, says, why is the tournament in rainy England so much more important than the guaranteed sunshine, cash and cars in, say, Florida?
Well, that's called history. You know, all of tennis's greats played at Wimbledon, and the best athletes win at Wimbledon, and you have to be pretty much a complete player to win there. You can't just be one-dimensional, and at least not one-dimensional on the baseline. You have to be able to come to the net and put the volley away, be able to adjust to the bad bounces, etc. And the rain, well, that comes with the territory. But you know, that's where history has been made. And if you talk to any player growing up, which tournament do you want most to win? 90-something% will tell you Wimbledon is the one.
And of course, this year was the first time I think that they had the same prize for the men and women,
Correct.
which was something you were battling for so much while you were sort of up there playing with everyone.
Yeah, we've been fighting it for a long time. Billie Jean King, of course, led the way back in the early 70s, and we were supposed to have had equal prize money long before it happened, but somehow that document got lost. But finally, they came up with it this year. And you know what? Now we can talk about things that are other more important things. This was certainly an important issue, but now it's behind us, and we should really talk about why the prize money has not gotten better compared to other tournaments, compared to other sports. Golf has bypassed tennis with prize money, and there's no way that that should happen.
Both are quite elite, and tennis was always quite an elitist sport. Has that elitism gone? Has it become much more of a sport for the people, do you think?
You know, it's easy to play tennis. We have plenty of public courts in the U.S., so you can, you know, you buy a racket for $100 and it'll last you 10 years.
But the coaching.
But the coaching,
yeah.
to do it at an elite level,
Right.
any sport is expensive. But tennis and golf more so because it's individual sports. So, you know, playing football or soccer or baseball, you get on a team, and it is cheaper that way. So, but to do anything really well is expensive, and it's a big investment for the family, unfortunately.
Actually, we had an interesting question, which is something you may touch on as well, because because of the campaigning you do. This came in from Michigan in the US. Daryl Dobrinich says, how much do you believe that being an openly gay woman cost you in terms of endorsement deals?
Well, you can't put any money on it, but plenty. Millions. There's no doubt about it. Which is why it's so great that now I have the endorsement with AARP, for whom my sexuality was completely irrelevant, which is what we want as a gay community. We want the fact that we're gay to be irrelevant, as it should be, as color is, as nationality or religion. And one day we'll get there, but we have a long way to go. Of course, we're a lot further in this country than we are in other countries in the world where homosexuality is punishable by jail or even death. So we're further ahead of the curve there, but you know, it's cost me money, but you know, I'm still here, and I was still able to play my game that I love so much, and it enabled me to live my life with dignity, and also sort of lead the way for other people to come out and not be ashamed of who they are.
Now, interestingly enough, tennis was always the sort of squeaky clean sport, you know, and yet this year somehow it's been hit with a few scandals. There was the issue of the allegations of match fixing with Nikolai Davydenko, and Martina Hingis now saying she will protest against the appeal against the issue of the drug controversy. How do you view what's happened to the sport in the last year or so?
Well, overall, tennis is in great health because we are really much more global than we were ever before. We have more tournaments in more countries, etc. But the problem with Martina, the problem with the drug system, the way it works is that you are guilty until proven innocent. And it's true nowhere. You can kill somebody on national TV, but you are still innocent until proven guilty. But the drugs, the way it works, it would be so easy for somebody to sabotage another player if they don't like him, or if they want to, see who tests positive. You just drop stuff in the food in the cafeteria, and next thing you know, you test positive for something. So I don't believe Martina took the stuff. But even if she did, which I'm certainly not saying she did, it's not a performance-enhancing drug, and we have the same penalties for somebody that might take, an occasional snort or occasional toke on the marijuana cigarette, which I'm not advocating. Same penalty if you were shooting up steroids for years and years and cheating the system. So that needs to be fixed.
Martina, of course, so many questions and never enough time. I do hope you will join us for more questions on this, and we thank you very much. Good luck with the book. Shape Yourself is the book.
I appreciate it.
And we hope to see you again here soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Martina Navratilova joining us there. Thank you for being with us and for your questions too. On tomorrow's show, a new study says men are still intimidated by smart women, and that some women are dumbing down to attract a mate. Tell us what you think. And don't forget, if you have any thoughts about other pressing issues around the world, just send your emails to riz@aljazeera.net. We'll see you next time. Street Talk is coming up next.